And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Gibran,
the Parlay
You got it.
Pounder.
We're back.
Yes, we are. And man, what a show up to this point. I mean, we talked NFL draft,
Yep.
NBA playoffs a little
Yep.
bit there. Of course, we had to talk UFC, Fight Night.
Always.
World Championship Boxing.
Always.
Showtime. Now we're going to get into some NASCAR. We have too many NASCAR fans out there. It's kind of turned into a thing, and this is a big one. Talladega Superspeedway.
Doesn't get much bigger than this, Andy.
Sunday, April 23rd. The green flag drops at 2 p.m. on Fox. Great crew. They always do a good job. Pretty entertaining group of fellas there. And oh, by the way, we're also going to be doing a live show broadcast at the Nebraska Brewing Company back there in the tap room.
Yeah.
With a watch party to follow.
For sure, Andy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like you said, come out to the draft house if you can.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska Brewing Company. We're going to give you, nuggets that you can bet. We have a full free prop sheet with tons of great prizes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple beers from the Nebraska Brewing Company, kind of that stuff. But great food, great beer out there. But let's get in the lines a little bit here, Andy. Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano are the favorites to win heading into race week, with both of them at plus 1,100 odds on, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever. Find your best. Like you said, shop it around. Logano won this race in 2018, and Blaney won it in 2020.
Right.
So, obviously, there's, a little build-up to why those guys are sitting there like that. Chastain and Chase Elliott follow at plus 1,200. Chastain.
Elliott's coming back, right?
Yeah. Yes.
He's coming back.
Elliott is back for his second race. He came back last week. Returning last week, finishing 10th after fracturing his tibia and missing 6 races. So he's going to be, on the prowl to get back into, the shape of things and, doing on a short track last week, and finishing 10th. That's a good sign for Elliott.
Yeah, I think this is a really fun dynamic. And how about all the drama that happened in Martins?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Last week, I mean, you had guys hollering at you. Look, I thought we were going to have another Tony Stewart helmet throw.
Yep. Well, it could just be building up for Talladega, so keep your eyes glued to the TV.
I also like the dynamic here where, a lot of younger guys, a lot of short track guys kind of had their time in the sun.
No doubt.
And now you're getting guys like Brad Keselowski saying, okay, we're back to the super speedway.
Yes.
We're back to the big boys here. You guys, we're going to show you what we're made of. And you also got some of those traditional guys that are always near the top of the pack. They don't have a good start to this season. I think a lot of it had to do with those short tracks.
For sure.
Especially the dirt track, in Bristol, that was a curveball for a lot of guys.
It's a lot of fun for the fans, but it's, like you said, not for the guys that you like to do super speedway. So I think a lot of guys are drooling at the chance to get back in Talladega. And like you just said, I love that you said it. Brad Keselowski, he leads all active drivers with 6 career wins at Talladega, the most recent in 2021. After a promising start to this year, he's kind of backslid into double-digit finishes in 4 straight.
That's right. He's one of the main guys I'm talking about.
Exactly.
He's not off to the start that he wants.
Exactly. He's at plus 1,500 right now, Andy. So that is a very good bet. Keselowski, for a top 3 finish, he's at plus 380, and for a top 5, he's at plus 185. So I like all 3 of those bets, for the value. But obviously, he's going to be trying to get on top of that poll as well.
Yeah, Caesar's got him right now at plus 1,500.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have a good poll run. I think he's going to be right there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of driving over to Iowa maybe tonight.
Might as well.
Right after we get done recording, get over there and get my ticket in on Brad. Because I also just watched a talk show on Fox Sports day before.
Yep.
And I don't think it was an act. He appeared to be very confident in himself and his team and what they're going to be doing. He moved on from Team Penske, and there's been some hiccups along the way with that. But you still got a guy that runs well at a super speedway, and he feels pretty good about it. And he's also had some success with his new team on these super speedways. In Atlanta, he did well. So I just like everything about Brad. And the fact that he's not one of your top dog leaders right now.
Yeah, you get great value.
Yeah. So he's one of those guys that I'm not afraid to sprinkle a little bit on early on here in the week.
No, exactly, Andy. I love that you just said that because he was one of my main talking points that I came in here with. But we can't have the show without talking about the GOAT right now, and that's Joey Logano. Owns 3 career Talladega triumphs. Most recent came in 2018, and he's finished 26th or worse in 4 of his last 5 there. But betting sites clearly like how he's running this year when Joey Logano owns top 10s in last 3 starts on asphalt tracks. So he is going to be there. He's going to be up front. Yeah. It just depends if he's in a wreck or something, whatever. But Joey Logano, you can't go bad with that pick.
Well, and this is what's fun about Talladega.
Yes.
It's a big track. A lot of things going to happen. Pack racing, you're going to hear that term a lot.
Yeah, big ones. Big wrecks, big ones. Yep.
Yep. If you just go back and watch go get on YouTube and watch like a 10-minute highlight reel from last year. I mean, I think it was like on lap 30. They just dropped the green flag coming out of caution, and I'm not kidding you. It was about 10 seconds into it, and it was like a 15-card pile.
Yeah, they waved it again. Yep.
So anything can happen. But the way Joey Logano, and he's going to probably be one of those guys that's going to run a good pole because he's so good on these super speedways on asphalt, as you mentioned. So if he's going to be able to avoid those early wrecks, I truly believe that. And if he can do that, you're just stacking your odds to be there at the end.
Yeah.
You're not going to, the caution flag is going to come out, but that's going to be affecting the cars behind you.
Yeah.
Because you're up there in first or second place, doubt. Which I think Joey's going to get off to a good start here.
Exactly, Andy. How about we do a little sleeper talk?
Okay.
I'm
on board.
One that I have to mention because I feel like a doof for not doing it in the Daytona 500. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to win is at plus 2,000 right now.
Yeah.
The car that won the Daytona 500 may be in Tracks Museum, but Stenhouse still has touch when it comes to super speedway racing, like we've just been saying. Mm-hmm. He owns a first, a second, and 2/3 at the big track, even if he's been involved in too many crashes there of late. But I like Stenhouse, in this draft of, a whole bunch of guys. And, it's used to be called a play track, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
So I really like Stenhouse Jr. at plus 2,000.
He's another one of these guys that has gotten off to a rocky start. Not as good a start as what he had hoped for. And a little bit of it is due to some fool's gold there. He was in 28th pace, and then he got into that wreck at Daytona. Atlanta's not a super speedway, but it has characteristics like a super speedway. And he had a top 31st finish there in Atlanta. Not great, but he's still, there. He can still run good. So at 35 to 1, is that what you're looking at? 35 to 1. That's a pretty good bet to be laying there on a guy that isn't warning much talk right now.
No, exactly. I just think they should put a little bit of respect on the Daytona 500 winner. So I really like that plus 2,000 right now, like you said.
Where's my guy Kyle?
Oh, he's down there.
Yeah. And I'm a little surprised at how much disrespect Kyle Larson's getting.
Yeah.
It reminds me, a Nebraska reference here.
Yeah.
Since 1973 all the way up until 1994, Tom Osborne couldn't win the big one.
Yeah.
What's with the guy? He gets to a bowl game, he can't win the big, can't win the bowl game.
Exactly.
And it's like Kyle Larson's the same type of talk, like, oh, you just can't win at these big tracks. You can win everywhere else. You just can't win it. It's like, a lot of things happen at Talladega and these super speedways. Okay. And Kyle Larson shouldn't have to defend himself.
No.
Tom Osborne shouldn't have had to defend his coaching acumen.
Of course not.
But he did because, it was that
There's too much talk.
Right.
The narrative.
Too much talk.
And like you said, Kyle Larson, literally one of the best drivers in the world for years on years on years. At plus 1,800, that's a crime. That's very good odds for a guy that can take down any race at any moment.
Yep.
Plus 300 in the top 3. Plus 225 in top 5. So that's a really good value bet that I like for Kyle Larson because I believe he's probably going to be top 5 at a plus 225 bet.
And you can at least put a top 10 in there and feel all right about it.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of, it's Thursday. A lot of the books are starting to open up. We're starting to see more lines. It's a little more guarded maybe than some races in the past, but that's because, what'd you call it, the playhouse? A lot of things, the playground, a lot of things can happen here. So you're going to see the books are going to reflect that. They're going to try and protect themselves a little bit, but you're starting to see more things come out. And Kyle Larson, attracts a lot of attention. So you're starting to see a lot of head-to-heads. And I don't feel bad about sprinkling a little bit on him on any of these head-to-heads.
Of course not.
I mean, I don't care if it's Joey Logano. I mean, I probably would pick Logano, but I'm saying you wouldn't be an idiot. Like, there are so many shows that I've listened to, articles that I read that, man, they're just throwing so much shade right now at Kyle Larson. It has me thinking, like, man, I better start zigging when everyone else is zagging.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. The disrespect is out of hand for him, and I'm expecting a good race from Kyle Larson.
Now, what happened with Martin Truex Jr. Last week? He got in a little bit of a scuttlebutt.
Little fender bender.
Yeah. Is he paying a little bit of a fine here, or it got reduced? I think his team, or he brought it to the NASCAR. Whatever happened, he's at plus 3,000 here heading into Talladega, and I think that's a little bit of the fallout following what happened at Martinsville last week.
I mean, he finished third in that race, so he's still it went Kyle Larson, Logano, Truex Jr. So obviously he's maybe a little bit in bad blood with some of the drivers, but obviously he's still one of the best, and he's sitting in Cup Series points. He's in fifth. Right behind Larson at fourth. So this guy is one of the best. He's
at plus 3,000 heading into this one.
Exactly. So I think he might have to start back a little bit, but, don't count him out.
Don't count him out. All right. Do you have any type of a fun little parlay or another long shot that you want to talk about?
This is just one of my best bets of the day, Andy.
Okay.
And it just goes with the race winner and the manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
We got Chevy sitting at plus 125, Ford at plus 140, and Toyota sitting at plus 330. You know what? I'm going with my Ford guys. There's just too many up at the top of the list for me to look past. You got Logano. You got Kevin Harvick. You got Blaney. You got Keselowski. Should I go on? You got Bushler. You got McDowell.
Yeah.
I just think Ford is just through the roof. The better pick at plus 140. I love the bet with the plus money. Obviously, the two top guys, with Logano and Harvick sitting there in the Ford car. So I'm going Ford on that one with a plus 140.
I don't think you can go wrong there. And I also saw another one of those props about a top finish Chevy. And there's a lot of Chevys as well that run good at the big track. And like we said, I'll just go back to it. Anything can happen. This is Dega.
Yeah, it is Dega. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't see how the manufacturer Ford has the second best odds when they're the two guys at top of the pole are Blaney and Logano, and they both run Ford. So I think it's a good piece at a plus 140 that people can make some money on.
Hey, you did some digging there. I think you might have found something. I like that. I like that a lot. And let's one more reminder: we are going to have our first ever live broadcast at the Nebraska Brewing Company's tap room. Like us, follow, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Click that notification. YouTube will let you know on your cell phone that, hey, you got to get in front of the TV to watch the pregame show. We got a few guests. Return guest, Jake Bartecki, and I think you got a Motorhead.
Yeah, I do. Robert Knapp out of Omaha. He's one of the oldest race fans that I know, and that's all he talks about when he talks to me. So Bartecki and Knapp will be rounding us out, and we're gonna have a good show.
We got a prop sheet with about 20, 25, 22 different props on there, free to play, free prizes. Pick a winner, probably get a free beer out of the deal at minimum. Gonna have some games going on there. The green flag drops at 2 in the afternoon on Sunday, meaning our show will probably kick off around 12:30. Wrap things up at 1:30. Allow everyone that's there to get some of the barbecue. We're going to have a catering service there. So if you can, head on out to the Nebraska Brewing Company's tap room there in La Vista, Nebraska. Be part of the fun. And obviously there will be a watch party to follow.
Yeah.
GEICO 500. It's Dega, baby.
It's Talladega.
Well, that'll about do it for WTL this week. Man, we touched all the bases.
We went through
it
all.
My goodness, my goodness. For Jabron, the Parlay Pounder, my name's Andy Klassen. This has been WTL. Thank you for listening.